Fonzarelli Show.
We just watched the return of Luke Skywalker in the Mandalorian finale, the behind the scenes. The real thing I liked about it, it was kind of, it's been like a week or stuff, but the part that was important that I thought we could really delve into was the creative process and what's going on behind Star Wars. Of course, joining me, I got my co-host Khiim in the house. Khiim, what's going on, man?
Not much, man. Another day. How you doing?
Good. What were your grasp on when you heard like Dave Filoni and John talking about, did it give you like a better respect of like the kind of like the care they were putting into it?
Yeah, definitely. It definitely did, because you can see that it's two people who are like passionate about this.
Yeah.
And like this is a part of who they are, and they're really taking care of it, like almost as if they're their child,
when you first watch it and you see, it's Luke, and you see the face at the end, you're like, they kind of nailed it, but you're like, but they were right about the buy-in, and they showed you everything they tried to do
to make it right.
So it's like, okay, they obviously, if you say it's fake, they showed you how much thought they put into it, so they probably would never have gotten it perfect, but the idea was they sold it. But Dave was right, it was the build-up, it was the everything, it was the hand, the grill. Now I was surprised about Mark Hamill's involvement.
Yeah, same here.
Because first of all, I'm like, okay, they de-aged him. But what I didn't realize was that, like, how he worked with, I think it was the guy's name was Max, but like he kind of like was working with the stand-in actor. Yeah. And they were copying each other's performance.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny. I had a funny thought about that as well. Because as these things happen and these actors get older, they've done it with Chewbacca. Because it was Peter Mayhew. And then there was somebody that took over for Peter.
Okay.
Because at one point, Peter Mayhew like couldn't walk as much, and he passed away. But like during The Force Awakens, he had an understudy. And so what happened was he would do like the sitting down scenes. The understudy would do some scenes, but he worked with an understudy. Yeah. And then eventually the understudy, like in Solo, it was him the whole time.
Yeah, he took over, yeah.
I wonder if they decide to keep going forward with like these old legacy characters and move forward doing this, if keep Mark Hamill as much as you can involved in the process, but start teaching this guy to be the understudy. Yeah. And as long as Mark Hamill is like, signs off and he's okay and it's respectful, it's better if these guys are alive to make the decisions. I don't know how I would feel. Okay, so when it came to like The Last Jedi, he was obviously not happy with it. Yeah. Like he let it go in certain things. He was kind of, and he even felt bad that he let it slip out. Because he wasn't exactly trying to say it, but people were getting the gist of it. Like he was like, this ain't the Luke I know.
Yeah, he was disappointed.
Yeah, and it was like, I mean, I think because its first post after the show came was like, I didn't realize what I wanted till I got it. Yeah. Like, thank you, John. Thank you, Dave. Because they show the understudy mimic his performance. So they let Mark drive the car, basically, even though the voice was digital. But if you could teach this guy, Max, to act like Luke, and Mark keeps working with him, then if, down the road, I hate to say it's morbid, but down the road, if Mark passes away or if Mark doesn't want to do it anymore, but if you have him involved in the training the next Luke. Yeah. Because Mark even said, I thought to get an age appropriate actor. So it's not like he's not.
Yeah. It's not like he's holding on to that role to where he doesn't want anyone else to do it. He just wants it to be done right.
Yeah. And he's not like, nobody's Luke but me.
Exactly.
he just liked like, oh, here is Luke. And he even said how he wanted to, he wanted like, me and George never got to fill the gaps of young Luke after Jedi is over. Now we get to explore that and everything.
Yeah. And that's got to be exciting for him,
Yeah, I you get to do it again, and you get to be the Luke you want to be.
Yeah, reliving the glory days. Not that he's like his time has passed, because Mark Hamill's resume just goes on and on and on, and still continuing.
Oh, right now he's working on Masters of the Universe. Yeah, he's doing the He-Man cartoon. Exactly. He's doing some other voice work, so it's not like he's looking for he's doing other like shows, I believe.
Yeah, and I thought it was interesting that even during this show, he's still doing like little side characters here and there that we don't realize. Like there was at the Cantina bar, he was like one of the bartenders there.
Yes. Yeah. So Dave brought up some funny things because I didn't even think about like how much, like I said, how much thought they put into it. Yeah. Like even his lightsaber style. because he says Ahsoka is his, because he's thinking of the same terminology, like all these characters exist.
Yeah.
Because he made Ahsoka with George and everything. So
Yeah.
and George made Luke. So he's not, but the truth is Ahsoka is vastly more experienced than Luke at this time.
Yeah.
So Luke ain't gonna move. If they had Luke doing backflips and like, fighting like Anakin and Obi-Wan in the prequels.
They're in the Republic age, yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't have bought it. It had to be those smooth, precise moves.
Yeah, more so samurai strikes and stuff.
Yeah, and just like a calmness about him. So it was really well done. And they were also right about, we got to have little enough where it's the happy ending for Grogu, but we can't take away from the Mandalorian.
Exactly.
We can't rob the Mandalorian of that finale. So it was like just enough. But the fact that they took the care and they're having these conversations and they thought of things.
Yeah.
It's probably because also like the way the landscape is changing once again, people are more free to be creative with TV.
Yeah.
And take on different, so coming down the road, you got like Taki Waititi's going to do a Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
He directed the last episode of Mandalorian season 1, which was awesome. But I think they're letting these guys, I think they're more willing to hand over the keys.
Yeah.
To let these directors do what they want, as long as you're not messing with the legacy characters, or if you are, but you're putting them in the right place.
Yeah.
But you don't have to continue, like I said, the Skywalker saga ended. But, you could fill in gaps.
Yeah.
You could fix things.
And I think we talked about that before. That was one of the things that we liked about The Mandalorian is that they did have all these different hands come on. Like you did have the main guys who like know the lore and everything, but they weren't afraid to like, okay, well, you have your directive style. Like I think we had Bryce Dallas Howard, Ron Howard's daughter. We had her direct one, and then we just have all these different people coming in and putting their style on certain episodes. Yeah. So they were trying to like branch out a little bit.
I liked Bryce Dallas Howard's episodes.
Yeah, I did too.
She did the one with the when it was the 3 Mandalorians. And then in the first season, she did the one with the Walker. Yeah. Which was a really cool episode. But yeah, she does good on that. I hope you see her again.
Did she handle the Bo-Katan episodes?
Yes, the Bo-Katan. The main one where the first time he meets Bo-Katan. She handled that episode. So going forward, so let's go back to like the sequel trilogy, right? Yeah. So we've talked about it over and over again. No plan, da-da-da. But if you have Taika Waititi, think of like Rogue One. Yeah. You make somebody make a movie in a certain period of time, and it's a one shot, and you either like it or you don't. But you're not like derailing the legacy of stuff. Yeah. Like if Taika Waititi might even make a movie, and we might be like, but it's over. It's not like it's like, where are you going with this? What are you doing? You handle step away from the heritage characters because it's a little dangerous. These guys, or you put as much care as these guys put into it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's what I would like to see is if new hands are going to get onto it, try new characters, new ventures of the lore. Don't keep trying to like pass down these legacies, like you said, to new hands because they're not going to handle it, or they might not handle it with the same care as, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because now here's an opposite end to that. So now when the prequels came out, I think, for people your age, that it was the first Star Wars they saw, it was awesome. And then people my age, that was like, you're retelling a story. It's okay. It's and at the end, but looking back at them, they're great. But
I think it was like the ability to expand off of the prequels.
Yes, because what happened was when George made his Clone Wars cartoon, and he was working with other people, he was working with Dave Filoni, other writers and stuff, and all of a sudden they made the idea of just the wars between episodes 2 and episode 3. Yeah. They just made, all of a sudden, they made Anakin awesome. Yeah. They made Obi-Wan awesome. They expounded on their friendship. Exactly. And then now you look back at it and you have like this history in your imagination. And when you watch episode 3, it's that much more to it. Yeah. That being said, do you think there's a way to save the sequel trilogy the same way? Like, what if you made a cartoon, like a Clone War style cartoon, Dave Filoni, like Bad Batch kind of thing, that you're filling in that gap of like the young Kylo Ren before everything turned, where Luke's head kind of went.
Honestly, that could possibly work because I would like that to get to see more Kylo Ren beyond just what we saw cinema wise. Yeah, and
he's
a good character. I think With the sequels, I think that it was just bad delivery.
Yeah,
like
it was
bad
delivery.
The premise was there, you know.
Yeah,
the premise was there. We had what we could to like expand. It was just bad delivery.
If you even think about the like when you first saw The Force Awakens,
Yeah,
The Force Awakens, when you initially saw it by itself, there was like goosebump moments.
Yeah.
Like when he goes, let's take that ship over there. And the Millennium Falcon, I remember in the theater, everybody's like, woo, and it cheered. And then like even some lady was sitting behind me and she goes, your father, Han Solo. And somebody goes, what? Like people were, because I was like, wow, that's a cool twist. Had no idea. And you know, then they handed off this. They were like, well, we don't know where we're going from here. There was just no plan but there were good elements in there.
Exactly.
And then if you explored them, if you kind of fill in the gaps of what, you know, little, you slip over to what Palpatine's doing.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're hinting at that with the Mandalorian, with the cloning.
Yeah.
You know, they wanted Grogu for his blood and what they're trying to do. But just give us a little hint of that. Like, no, this was in the works. This was fill in. You have 30 years of space we missed. Fill it in somewhere.
Honestly,
fill in Kylo's relationship with Han Solo. Where did it go wrong? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Things like that.
And I think that would definitely bring it around in the end if they did something like that.
Yeah,
it could redeem the sequels.
Somebody gave me I read something and I think it was Screen Rant or something, but it was like an article and they wrote about if Ahsoka meets Luke, that might kind of plant some seeds to explain his turn a little bit.
Yeah.
Whereas like she could say, no, I worked with your father and I saw him turn. I saw what happened. Like Luke doesn't know about the council.
Yeah.
Exactly what went
what
down.
happened,
like
why his dad turned or any of that. He just knows, hey, your dad's the big bad.
And even at the end, like Ahsoka got burned by the council. The council was flawed.
Yeah.
They made that very clear.
Yeah.
So so Ahsoka could say, hey, if you're gonna build this Jedi Order, it could go bad.
Yeah.
And then when the Kylo turn happens, whether you show it or don't show it, you could put it in your imagination like Luke was like, oh, she was right.
Yeah.
This thing is just always destined to fail. The Jedi Order is always destined to fail.
Yeah.
And that would kind of, from that, then you get that bitter guy that you've seen in The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
You buy into it more.
Yeah. Because that would make sense.
You could connect the dots.
Yeah.
And see. But just from going from one thing, and we're excited to see him again in Force Awakens,
and then
all of a sudden
he's just this grumpy old man. He's like, I don't want to do anything.
But if you fill in those gaps, you buy it more. Let's see awesome Luke, and let's see the road. Let's fill that in, and then what you do is you redeem the sequel trilogy.
Yeah,
because you have those gaps in your head, and you can enrich that same way the Clone Wars did.
Mm-hmm. And I think we need that. We definitely need to see that in between Luke. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah,
you know,
if they don't want to do the de-aging, do a Bad Batch style show.
Yeah,
do an animated show.
Yeah,
and you already digitally recreated his voice and the reason is because Mark Hamill's voice is actually older and raspier. So he knew they were doing that. He wasn't offended. He wouldn't care if somebody used somebody else's voice.
Yeah,
do whatever you do. Find a voice actor. They don't have to sound the same. Anakin doesn't sound like Hayden Christensen. A different actor, and people love that actor. He's his own fame.
Yeah, exactly.
And even the guy that played Obi-Wan, there's fans of that voice actor.
Yeah.
And it's not Ewan McGregor.
Yeah.
But you recognize both, as
Obi-Wan,
the voice actor for Ahsoka. There was a controversy because they didn't pick her, but whatever. I buy Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka. It doesn't have to sound the same. You have that freedom. Mm-hmm. You have that freedom to go wherever you want with it. Like the Bad Batch, the triumph of the Bad Batch. The thing I really liked about it was they were showing the transition from clone troopers to stormtroopers.
Yeah,
they were right at that
we
moment.
Get that piece of history. One of the things that I love about when we do talk about Star Wars is just that you and I come from two different generations of Star Wars.
Yeah.
So for me, Luke has always been that guy to where they're just like, he's the man. It's almost like, okay, so I was born in 92.
Yeah.
I came in almost like basically at the end of Jordan. I know Michael Jordan is one of the greatest players, but I personally never really got to see him play like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's almost like the same thing. Like, I know Luke is this highly holded character.
Yeah.
But from the original trilogy,
yeah,
you don't really get to see it. He's just learning.
Yes.
And then we skip to the sequels, and he's this highly regarded, oh, don't mess with Luke, but we don't get that in between.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To where it's like with the prequels, which I was born under with, you get to see like
you get to see
Jedi,
Anakin.
you get to see Jedi at their height.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Especially Obi-Wan, because he lived through.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden those scenes with Alec Guinness they're more powerful.
Exactly.
Because you know the history behind this guy. And they're like, even though he's calm and reserved, you're like, you know where he came from. You know what he's seen.
Yeah.
So
you know how many limbs he's got under his belt. He's cut off so many limbs.
And that's that's an interesting thing when you get to that Obi-Wan series that's coming out.
Yeah,
with
I'm
Ewan
excited for
McGregor
that.
coming. That one's going to be really good.
Yeah, definitely.
But if you get to see him slowly become that more reserved character, because he should start that show off a little. He's got to be, he's going to be a little shooken by the situation.
Yeah, I want to see if they're going to start that show off. I want to see it. How did he deal with the fact that he just cut down Anakin?
Yeah,
I need to see that.
And now you have a show like we said about.
Yeah, I need to see like that after effect of the Mustafar battle.
Yeah, get the like we said, it's TV, so now you had the time for that character exploration.
Yeah.
But now let's do it right. Let's hit all angles of Obi-Wan and let him go from either angry or sad or whatever, and it's find that calmness, find that focus. Okay, I'm here. I gotta watch Luke.
Yep.
While he's on Tatooine, you could do things like he could run into Jabba. He could. I'm not sure where they're talking about a Darth Vader thing.
Yeah.
Which could work because at first you're like. Because when Darth Vader first sees Obi-Wan, he goes, "You should never have come back, old man."
Yeah.
Could happen. The thing is Darth Vader can't go to Tatooine. There's no way he goes to Tatooine and
doesn't sense Luke. Yeah.
It's got to be something where Obi-Wan has to go off-world and deal with something.
Yeah.
If you're going to have that fight. But that would be cool to see what I thought when Episode 3 was coming was we were going to see Darth Vader a lot in a suit.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be he was going to see him in a suit cutting down Jedi.
Yeah.
Like I had the vision in my head he was going to be Darth Vader fighting Mace Windu.
Yeah.
Things like because Obi-Wan was supposed to be the one that took his legs off and everything, but now we could see that. Now we could see that that cool Ewan McGregor Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader, Anakin. Have them kind of fill in that gap of their relationship.
Definitely. It's needed.
Like even when Darth Vader says to Luke, he goes, "Obi-Wan once thought as you did." Let's see that.
Yeah.
Let's see Obi-Wan try to make like one last grasp of hope maybe.
Yeah.
And then know it's done. He's more machine than man. Let's see him get to that mentally.
He's too far gone, yeah.
Yeah. So it's Cassian Andor was the show. Okay. So he was that character from Rogue One that was with the Rebellion.
Yeah.
I've seen couple screenshots, but it looks like it's going to kind of do the same thing as the Bad Batch and show that transition. So what you're going to see is like those Republic ships, like those Republic more colorful starships. You're going to see them in a scrapyard, things like that.
Okay.
I think that's very interesting.
It is.
If you show like why, because I always bought in my head that the reason why the ships are wider and plainer is because they wanted to get away from that, like the whole sell of the Empire to normal people.
Yeah.
Is the Jedi, first of all, betrayed us.
Yeah.
But the other thing is like, look, we're better than this Republic is corrupt. We're going to become this Empire because this thing happened to itself. But their sell was the Republic failed you. We're doing this. But also, like, let's get away from the colorful and the bad. Like, we're going to go military, clean.
There's so much possibilities that they have, really, honestly.
Yeah.
And it just comes down to if it's going to be in the right hands.
Yeah, well, what they do is they stop making trilogies. They got to stop making trilogies.
Yeah.
I truly believe that.
Yeah.
Make a story if...
I mean, yeah, honestly, because... Yeah.
And if you've got a character that you like, bring him to something else, like Cassian Andor.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do a show about him. And if it doesn't work, show's over.
Yeah.
or it works, like Mandalorian. If it didn't work, don't do season 2. Mandalorian works.
Yeah.
I had some thoughts about Mandalorian too, with because I was thinking Book of Boba Fett coming up, and because when Boba Fett first appeared, you and me were talking like, okay, now you got 2 guys in Mandalorian armor.
Yeah.
He's clearly a different character than Din Djarin.
Yeah.
So how do you work with that thing? So I don't think Mandalorian 3 is coming until after Book of Boba Fett.
Okay.
Okay. So Boba Fett's definitely a different character. Has definitely got different
Motives,
goals and ideal.
Yeah.
Even though they're both bounty hunters, ironically.
Yeah.
But if you do this Book of Boba Fett, I think the trick is so now Din Djarin is free from Grogu. I don't know if Grogu's coming back. So now you got to transition his story. So how do you sell them both? And I think one of the tricks is at the end of Boba Fett, it needs to be Din Djarin shows up.
Yeah.
So the audience gets excited because we haven't seen him, and then we see him do something at the end, and we're like, but his attitude is different because he doesn't have Grogu.
Yeah.
See where he's coming from, see what his things are, and then we get excited for Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Because Din Djarin and Boba Fett are 2 different characters.
Yeah.
In my book. I don't know where Din Djarin's going from now going forward. I'd like him to explore the Mandalorian history, the Darksaber, the stuff going on with that.
Yeah.
Go that way. And then Boba Fett has nothing to do with that Mandalorian culture.
No, not
so
at
his
all.
whole thing is he's probably going to take over the Tatooine crime world or something. I don't know what he's going to do. But put him in 2 different directions.
Yeah.
You could buy 2 guys that are wearing similar armor.
Yeah.
I think.
Just don't have them running in the same direction.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a big galaxy. They don't need to be running in the same direction.
Yeah, I agree. I agree completely. Definitely. I would hope to see Grogu come back though. I feel like it was such a big character and like so much going on around that character. I think personally it would suck for it to just like have been the 2 seasons he goes off with Luke and we don't see him again.
Yeah.
I
think we should see where he goes, but I don't know if he needs to get back with the Mandalorian.
Oh, I don't know. I don't. Maybe an episode or maybe just a hey, like,
I was thinking in the Ahsoka show, if they're going in the direction which they could with Ahsoka meeting Luke,
yeah,
which would be great.
Definitely.
There's so many things going on behind there.
Yeah,
her understanding of Anakin and everything.
Yeah,
just
that's needed. Like
it's like everything comes together. But then you could explore what's happening with Grogu and Luke, and maybe explore the start of the Jedi Order. But the other thing is, in the same direction, you don't want to make Ahsoka be the Luke show either.
Yeah,
you want to find out. I think what they're thinking about doing with Ahsoka is the search for Ezra. They're talking about bringing a Thrawn and Sabine Wren. I think they're making a live action kind of sequel to Rebels.
Okay.
Which I'm about because I liked Rebels.
Yeah, Rebels was good.
I like, especially like when they started tying in the Clone Wars thing, and you kind of saw the idea you could tie in all this stuff together.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, it's all one universe.
You got Tamora Morrison, who plays Boba Fett. He can play Captain Rex.
Yeah,
it's the same. He's a clone. You know what I'm saying? You throw a beard on him, and he could be whoever. You know, the possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
And we as fans are buying into whatever they throw us as long as it's good.
Yeah, as long as it's just handled with care.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Just because Disney now owns Marvel and they own Star Wars together, it's almost like there's so much capability. There's so much there for the Star Wars universe, but it's just like, I don't know, the handling of the two seem to be different, you know?
I think when Disney bought Marvel, Marvel was already going.
It was already established.
Yeah, the MCU and stuff was already going.
Yeah.
They were just like, you guys keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, we just own you now.
Whereas when they bought Star Wars, George Lucas was just kind of sleeping on it, and he was doing the cartoon. No, it's his. He has a right to.
Yeah.
But they're like, we got this property. We got to produce.
Yeah, we got to do something.
And they're like, hey, we're going to
didn't know what to do.
Yeah, and we're going to and they had a win. Rogue One was a win.
Yeah.
After Force Awakens, Rogue One, I was like, okay, cool. And Solo wasn't bad, but Solo was like, whatever.
Yeah,
Solo would have been better as a Disney Plus show.
Honestly,
I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. Solo is one of those examples where you say, do a show on a guy.
Yeah.
If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But it's there. And I agree. Because Solo wasn't bad, and it wasn't like amazing.
Yeah.
But it was there.
I think that was actually the first show you did with me with Solo.
I think so, yeah.
I think so. But it was like, it wasn't it wasn't bad, but it was like, okay, let's see how we got the Millennium Falcon. And it's like,
Yeah.
well, who cares? I'd rather see young Han Solo like get into different smuggling adventures with Chewie and different things and bring back Lando.
Yeah.
Get away from Lando. Some run-ins with Jabba. You know, I wish I didn't end it like I got this guy with a big job, but it could be Jabba giving him a different job.
Yeah.
Show have Jabba be the regular, you know, he does some jobs for Jabba, he does this and that. But we don't have to solve any mysteries about him.
Yeah.
We don't need to explore anything. Just have him the cool pirate adventures of Han and Chewie. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Just do whatever you want with it. Maybe make a cartoon about that. But yeah, but like I said, I think they were like, we got to move on to Star Wars. Let's make a trilogy. Let's make movies in between. We're going to do a Star Wars movie every year. And now it's like, no, let's just do good stuff.
Exactly. Let's take your time and pump out quality content.
There is constantly content on Disney Plus. They made a small thing about, I don't know if you've seen it. I didn't mention it to you because I just kind of watched. It was like a 15-minute thing about the Mandarin. Remember how in Iron Man that somebody played the Mandarin?
Yeah, but it was like the fake.
Yeah, they showed the fake Mandarin in prison.
Yeah.
And then they showed like how kind of might lead into Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
But obviously, like, you know, you took this guy's, hate to spoil it, but, you know, you took somebody's name because they're alluding to somebody else as the real Mandarin.
Yeah.
And they tied that in. But the thing is, there's the What If series, there's so much content coming out. I mean, Disney's really banking on this Disney Plus machine.
Yeah.
So there is no rush for the theaters or for this, for that. Like Spiderman is going to be a quality product because who knows what's happening with that.
Exactly.
So, but why are you, you know, and then there's Doctor Strange movie. It's probably going to warm us up more for the Doctor Strange movie. That thing's got its own engine running.
Yeah.
Star Wars doesn't need to run like that. Star Wars doesn't need to be event-based. Star Wars needs to be story-based.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, here's a story about this. Here's just, like, Bad Batch was cool. Here's a story right here. You on board or you're not? But it's here. And it's not affecting anything. It's not changing. You're digging into a pocket and you're exploring things.
Yeah.
That's even why, like, Marvel with TV is weird. Because they're still doing a TV show like they're building up to the next thing. They're still building it. But I don't know how else they could do it.
Yeah.
But I don't know what the answer is to that. I think they're going to figure it out and just get better with it.
Yeah, definitely. I think so too.
Yeah.
It's like it's two different ways of telling stories, I guess. Two different approaches.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's the same. You know, a lot of people blame Kathleen Kennedy because the whole thing is like Kathleen Kennedy ruined it. But she worked with George.
Yeah.
She worked with George, and she's working with these guys on Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And even like there's a new president of Disney, but the old CEO was like, yo, that's on me. That was my mistake because he was kind of he was taking accountability.
Yeah.
He's like, it was me. I just was like saying we're going to do Star Wars every year. I take the blame for that.
Yeah.
Which is cool. You know, and she's just doing what she was told and she's overseeing but now she's stepping back. You see how she helped Dave and John.
Yeah.
And I think they purposely said that too. I think they purposely did that. Say, look, Kathy wasn't the problem.
Yeah, they almost try to like stick up for her.
Yeah, Kathy really helped us do this thing. And who knows? Like, she has enough. And they actually talked about her resume and the other stuff she worked on. So, you know, I think that's fine. Now, I think John and Dave need to be kind of running the TV part.
Definitely.
With her overseeing. In the same way I said it before, I think Marvel needs a guy running the TV thing.
Yeah.
That's talking to Marvel guy. I can't, you know, the guy running Marvel.
Yeah.
You know, they need somebody just running the TV thing, communicating with him. And they need to find their direction there. But, there's, you know, it's just interesting stuff.
What do you think about Shang-Chi coming out?
So from the trailers, you know, the trailers show those little reviews and everybody's saying like visually spectacular. But I don't know who is that. Like, is that they just got somebody to say that and it's being said. But I think anytime Marvel gives us something that's off the grid, we don't think much, and then we see it, and then we get surprised by it. Guardians of the Galaxy was a good example of that because they wwere a lame comic in my book.
Yeah,
I never read that comic book because it was like, okay, let's get the other things we haven't done yet.
Yeah.
So same thing with Shang-Chi. I never read the Black Panther. I never read that comic book because I was a Spider-Man Ghost Rider. I wasn't really into any of the Avengers stuff.
Okay.
But Black Panther came out and it was the coolest thing I saw.
Yeah.
I was like, this is freaking awesome. But there were off. They were going off of the plan. You know, they were doing like the superhero. They're doing like another world, another like visual. Let's take you somewhere else.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I was sold on the Black Panther from Civil War because that was my favorite part of Civil War was at the end where Chadwick because Chadwick T'Challa. I was saying Chadwick Boseman, but but when he's like kind of observing what's going on at the end, and he's like, "Everybody is consumed by vengeance. I won't let it consume me." You know, and he goes, "The living aren't done with you yet." Like that was awesome.
Yeah,
like just the character, the actor, and everything. And in the movie, didn't betray that what they had set up with that
at all.
And I was excited. But the same thing is, so we got to preview that character now. Shang-Chi, we know nothing about. We haven't seen him in anything else. And well, besides Black Widow, which was a prequel, I think this is the first movie that you're going to show us a movie about the world after the events of Endgame. I believe so. Hopefully, you don't show us over and over again who disappeared. You know, you could show us some stuff to snap this thing happened, but I think it's going to be even like Eternals. Eternals isn't showing us a lot because they don't want to reveal too much.
Yeah.
It's going to tie into some things. It might tie into some multiverse stuff. But Shang-Chi, I got a feeling it's going to be story driven. So what we're seeing from the trailer is just the action scenes.
Yeah.
If they can't show us the story parts, they're going to be like, "Ooh, wow, wait," you know, the mystery of it. So I am excited about it because it's one of the lesser known characters. So I think they're gonna work hard. Why wouldn't you? You'd want to work hard to deliver a good movie. That it's almost better because you make up for the lesser known character by having the better movie.
Exactly.
So what's going to happen is if it turns out to be what's going to happen is my prediction is the first weekend it might do okay, and then all of a sudden word of mouth will get out. Like, oh man, Shang-Chi was awesome, and then all of a sudden everybody's going to be running in and everything. So yeah, I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I just I don't know much about that character. How much do you know about him?
I know nothing.
Nothing. Yeah,
I've never I never seen him appear in Spiderman.
Yeah, I didn't know who he was.
It might be the first time I've heard about him.
Exactly.
Was when they announced the movie.
Yeah, so I'm really just wondering like what because one thing we know about Marvel, like nothing's done just as a throwaway. Honestly,
no,
like no matter what, even if it seems irrelevant here. 5 years down the road when they come out with another movie, it ties into what we saw and we thought was irrelevant, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering what part he's going to take now in the universe. Because I don't think they're just going to come out with a movie to just, we did a Shang-Chi movie and that's that. Yeah,
so does he fold into the new Avengers kind of thing? But I'm still kind of torn. Like, do we need another Avengers? I don't know if we need a new team.
I mean, honestly, I feel like that's what they're setting up for.
Yeah.
You know? Because, like, it just seems like people are just taking over the old mantles. You know, I know you haven't seen Scarlet Witch yet, but we definitely get the next Scarlet Witch in that.
Yes, and Sam Wills, the Falcon.
Falcon is the new
Captain America. He's actually officially signed on for Captain America 4. So that's like a done deal.
Yep.
And once again, now we covered how he got from point A to point B. Now it's going to be he's Captain America.
Exactly.
I hope we see Bucky in it. I still like that dynamic.
Yeah, I'm sure we will.
Yeah.
I'm sure we will. I'm still hoping that in the Black Panther, the next Black Panther that comes out, that we see Bucky in that too. Yeah,
because he's still got that history with Wakanda and that relationship with Wakanda.
Yeah,
it'd be nice to see him go back and even kind of, he had that little kind of break with them over the Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yep.
So kind of like fix those tensions.
Yeah. And I'm sure they will because, again, they wouldn't just mention it for no reason.
Yeah.
They wouldn't just be like, hey, yeah, Bucky spent all this time in Wakanda and they helped him with his brainwashing and everything, just to not explore that further.
Yeah, and he mentions, too, I felt that peace in Wakanda.
Exactly.
So it's good to bring him back home, especially he might be lost a little again.
Yeah.
If, Falcon took over as Captain America, he still might be a little lost, like, where's my place? Let me go back to Wakanda to find that peace. That would be good to see, actually.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
What's another character? I know they're talking about Moon.
Oh, Moon Knight.
Moon Knight, yeah.
I don't know what to think about that.
Yeah.
Because Moon Knight was always kind of like Marvel's Batman.
Exactly.
Oscar Isaac. They showed a photo of his costume, and it looks very busy.
Yeah,
and it looks very like weird. But you see a lot of costumes, but the costume, you see it in certain lightings and you see it in certain scenes. If you get a little more history behind the costume, like how did he make it, what's its purpose, and everything, it might be. That's like a wait and see kind of thing, I think.
Yeah,
because even like
because I'm not that familiar with him, but from what I've like been reading and trying to like catch up on him, he's a pretty like powerful character.
Yeah, he's
got a lot going on with him.
I think he's pretty close to Batman. I might remember it wrong, but I think he's supposed to be rich and he made the suit.
I think he has actual powers. If I remember correctly, he actually stole the powers of the Avengers at some point to beat some big bad that was coming.
Yeah, but you know what's cool about that is once again is I know nothing about him, so it's like I'll learn about him from the show.
Yeah,
and I won't even. It's almost better sometimes because you're not like
you don't have any expectations.
Are they doing it right? Are they bringing in this guy? I don't know who his villains are.
Exactly.
I don't know anything about
who he is. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me learn. Let me meet him here.
Yeah. Exactly. So that could be a good directing and producing strategy that they're doing with these new characters, pulling these characters that might not be as popular as the main characters, and is giving us the ability to see it for the first time.
Yeah,
without that judgment that we have, because us as fans, we're pretty tough on them.
Yeah, with expectations and stuff. And I had a thought about Spider-Man. Speaking of that, because I was thinking about it more. Plus, people are trying to pick apart what they see, what they don't see.
Yeah,
because I was mentioning like this might be it with Spider-Man. What if it is it with Spider-Man and Marvel?
Yeah.
What if what if okay, remember when the contract fell out and all of a sudden Spider-Man was going to leave the MCU?
Yeah.
Okay. What if all that is it possible, like we learned about the Luke thing and secrecy and misleads, like the Plo Koon trip. What if that never really went down? What if they were going to finish the contract, but they had some plans like to end the contract, but okay, let's do it a certain way.
Yeah.
What if if they were going to end the contract or end Tom Holland's thing? No, we'll say Tom Holland's on board. What if this No Way Home is the way of folding Peter out of the MCU into the Sonyverse?
Yeah.
Not saying it's the best idea and it's what I want. But if they were going to do it, if we were going to lose Spider-Man, instead of him just disappearing one day,
not doing anything,
let's say maybe they're just like, no, let's do it right.
Yeah,
let's give him his grand finale. Because what if these characters aren't in his? The title is No Way Home. I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
What if he's not? They're not in his world. What if he went to their world? Like when he's falling through the buildings and Doctor Strange is following him?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what's happening because you don't see much of Doctor Strange after that. Once again, it's a 2-minute teaser, so we have no idea.
Yeah.
But what if they kind of knew in their head, like this is over, let's give him that grand finale?
Yeah.
Or does it wrap up and everything's normal? I don't know, but it seems like if they were going to do it, it would be the best way to do it. Not that I want that.
Yeah.
But if they were going to do it, because once it gets in Sony, they're going to blow it all over again.
I mean, I would hope not.
Well, you know what? I'm not fair to Sony because it's not Sony. It's direct. It's the same as everything else.
Yeah.
It's mistakes. It's not a company.
Yeah.
So but even like Venom was lukewarm, but it was really trying to be true to the character.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the most entertaining Venom I saw.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, without Spider-Man being involved. And there's Morbius. Who knows?
I'm still kind of looking forward to that.
Yeah, so you know what? Maybe it's not as fair to say because Sony made those. Sony made Spider-Man 2.
Yeah,
Spider-Man 1. They were awesome,
and
they were the coolest things we saw at that time.
Yeah, honestly, between those and the original X-Men movies, that set up everything that we have now. You know?
I actually remember seeing the first Spider-Man, the Tobey Maguire one. I think I watched in theaters. I really believe it was 5 times. I don't think it's an exaggeration. And I remember just seeing the part where he learns to swing and he's not even in the costume. I'm like, oh, here it comes. He's going to do it. Like, it was just so amazing.
Yeah.
Just the idea they pulled off Spider-Man swinging. And then it became old news by the time the other Spider-Man came in because we're not amazed by that anymore. So now it's story-driven.
Yeah.
So it is possible. Yes, it is possible to get a little Spidey-verse if they tie him into that. And then also, once again, to be fair to Sony, they made Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
So, you can't just say company doesn't know what they're doing.
They can. They definitely show the ability to do right.
Yeah, we selfishly like him in the MCU.
Yeah.
And like the MCU guys handling him.
Yeah.
But it can't last forever.
Yeah.
I don't think it can.
So if that's right, Because now I think about it, the No Way Home like title.
Yeah.
So if he is just stuck somewhere to where he cannot get back home,
Yeah.
do you think that's his intro into? Because I feel like personally, eventually we're gonna need to see a Spider-Man in a Venom movie, especially if this Venom 2 is successful with Carnage. Like at some point, we're gonna need to see that interaction. So do you think that could be, like you said, their branch of putting him back into Sony? And now we have this Tom Holland Spider-Man, and
I'd be more interested. Yeah, I would tell you the truth. The idea of that Spider-Man, Tom Holland Spider-Man, and the Venom we have right now, Tom Hardy's Tom and Tom.
Yeah, Tom and Tom, exactly.
That movie,
yeah,
almost sounds more appealing than 3 Spider-Man.
Yeah, honestly.
It's like, let's give it an awesome Spider-Man, an awesome Venom, and then you could even kind of tie it in a little bit. Maybe the suit escapes Eddie Brock and gets on Peter, and you get that black costume Peter.
Yeah.
Goes back to Eddie Brock, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, you know what? I'm going to keep him memento. He has the white spider all of a sudden, and you tie him in, and now like they stayed away from him shooting webs.
Yeah.
They did something, I think, where he had like the tendrils and kind of swung from and everything, but he never just straight up shot webs. But you tie Spider-Man into that, now you could have Venom
actually
shooting webs.
Yeah. And I think that would be good for the Tom Holland Spider-Man character.
Yeah.
Because I feel like as long as he's in this MC universe, he's kind of always going to be this childish character to where he just looks up to everybody else and everybody else regards him as a kid. But you throw him into this other universe to where it has a completely different tone.
Yeah.
He's going to kind of have to be like, okay, I need to evolve as a person. I need to evolve as a character. Like, I can't just be this kid anymore.
He might be a little trapped by being in the MCU.
Exactly.
Because the things he does can't have too much impact because it's how does he fit into the big picture?
Exactly.
But also Marvel in the back of their head is, well, he can't do anything too impactful because we might lose him.
Yeah.
So maybe as much as we loved it, maybe it might be better for Tom Holland Spider-Man to go off in its own world.
Yeah.
And be free from the restraints of the MCU.
Yeah.
I hate to say the MCU has restraints, but it does for him.
It does for him, and I think that's only just because of how long he was not a part of the universe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He kind of came in late to the game.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, let him, because I think Tom Holland loves the character and can play him forever, and he's young enough that he could play him for a long time. And the cool thing is, as he ages, he becomes the older Peter Parker.
Exactly.
Because yes, in the comics we have the teenager and we have the adult Peter Parker. It happens. I don't even know how old his real age is. He might just look young, but yeah, I think, like I said, it's exciting having him with the MCU, but maybe the next step he needs is to get out of the MCU. Geez, we could have called it. could that be it? The No Way Home?
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. I just, because all these villains appearing, it doesn't matter. I feel like the movie's going to be exploring this multiverse. How does it wrap up his story? Oh, I have another prediction. And just again, because of the events, what would happen. So the cool thing about Jon Favreau is like he made Iron Man.
Yeah.
And he's appearing in Spider-Man No Way Home because he wants to have that presence of Iron Man and finish that character.
Yeah.
Like I think from Jon Favreau, I think he, like I said, he cares. He even cares about the stuff he's done with.
Yeah.
He doesn't need that. You know what I mean? So I'm curious okay, so in the original thing where Spider-Man makes it in the comics, when Spider-Man does this deal with Doctor Strange, and I haven't officially read it or anything, but it's kind of the same effect of where like his identity was revealed.
Yeah.
So they wanted to backtrack that because they wanted to change the storyline in the comics. But the reason when his identity got revealed, the thing that made Aunt May get shot in the comics. And that's why he's like, he has to reverse time and everything.
Yeah.
Could it be possible, because they're showing us very little, that one of the consequences is Happy Hogan dying? They show a look on his face of like fear.
Yeah.
And he's totally not near anybody or anything else because he is a friend of Spider-Man. But then again, he was a friend with Iron Man, so how would target him too much? So I don't know. I was wondering if Jon Favreau was going to make his exit there.
Yeah.
You know, how long do we do Happy, without Iron Man?
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because it's like, right now he's just kind of playing mentor he's just picking up mentor for Iron Man now that Iron Man's gone.
Yeah.
It's kind of just like babysitting still.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like I kind of want to see Tom get out of that like I need to be babysat.
Yeah,
I think know what I mean, vibe. Whether it's Iron Man or whether it's Happy or whether
Doctor
it's
Strange,
or Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, Nick Fury.
Nick Fury. Yeah. I mean, it always just seems like here's a Spider-Man that needs to be babysat.
Yeah.
See the Spider-Man come into his own, kind of, because it seems like he's just getting a lot of hand-me-down stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which I guess I can kind of understand because we've now had 2 Spider-Mans where we saw the origin of him coming his own.
Yeah.
So they kind of maybe took the route of where like we don't need to see that. Mm-hmm. Here's a Spider-Man. This guy gives him some gadgets. I even think that they're saying that Strange gets some kind of suit for coming up.
Oh, for his next movie, it's going to change.
He's going to get a different kind of suit that has like some kind of magic abilities or something.
Yeah, he's going to go. This is going to be the start. I believe this is going to be the start of Doctor Strange seeing what's going on. Mm-hmm. But you also can't start the Doctor Strange movie like, here's what happened in Spider-Man. So you got to do like a little. There's got to be little ways you do it enough, and how much do you dig back into Wanda's history and stuff. Yeah. But no, like all the pieces are there for cool things to happen. That's an interesting theory about the Spider-Man thing that we're talking. Because it's a conversation that has to be had. Like Spider-Man will eventually, if it's 5 years or 10 years, he's eventually going to leave the MCU. You can't unless Disney buys Sony, which could happen. But I'm excited about that. I'm excited about Shang-Chi. Yeah. So I think the future's looking bright for us as
Star
fans.
Wars or Spider or Star Wars or Marvel, everything's looking good.
Yeah. So we're gonna see what comes. We're probably gonna do Shang-Chi next. Yeah. So that's gonna be cool, and we're looking forward to the things coming up. So of course I want to thank Khiim. Always a pleasure doing this with you, buddy.
Definitely.
And we will see you guys.
Take care, everyone.